Achilles and Cycnus. Sigeum's shores ran red, and Cycnus, Neptune's son, had sent 1,000 men to death. Now Achilles charged in his chariot, and with his spear from Pelion laid whole battalions low, and seeking Cycnus in the fray, or Hector, confronted Cycnus, leaving Hector till the 10th long year. Then shouting to his steeds, whose snowy necks were straining at the yoke, he drove his chariot against his foe and cried, his strong arm brandishing his spear, "Whoever you are, take comfort when you die, that great Achilles killed you." Those high words his huge spear followed fast, yet though no fault deflected the sure shaft, that steely point achieved no good. It only bruised his breast as if the blow were blunt. "You, goddess's son," cried Cycnus, "yes, I know you by repute. Why are you so surprised that I've no wound?" Surprised he was. "This helmet that you see with chestnut horsehair crest, this convex shield, my left arm's load, they're not for my defense, they're for adornment. That's why Mars, too, wears his armor. Strip their guardian services away, I'll leave the field without a scratch. It's something surely to be born the son, not of a Nereid, but him who rules Nereus and Nereids in the whole wide sea." With that he threw his lance, to lodge fast in Achilles' curving shield. It pierced the bronze, and the next 9 bulls' hides, but at the 10th paused. The great hero wrenched it out, and again his strong hand hurled a quivering spear. Again Cycnus stood whole, unharmed, nor could the 3rd scratch him, though wide exposed he bared himself. Achilles raged in fury like a bull in the broad ring that with his frightful horns charges the scarlet cloak that baits his wrath and finds his wounds eluded. The iron point perhaps was loose and lost, but no, he found it fixed fast to the shaft. "Then is my hand so weak," he said, "and is the strength it had withered this once? For sure it had its strength when in the van I overthrew the walls of Lyrnessus, and when with their own blood I drenched the towns of Thebes and Tenedos, or when the slaughter of compatriots crimsoned Caicus' stream, and Telephus felt twice my lance's work. On this field too so many slain, whose heaps I made and see along the shore, my right hand had its strength and keeps it still." As if he disbelieved the deeds he'd done, he hurled his spear to strike Menetis, one of Lycia's rank and file, and pierced his breastplate and his breast beneath. His dying head beat on the stony ground, and out from the warm wound Achilles plucked his spear again and cried, "This is the hand, this is the spear that triumphs. Against him I'll use the same, and pray he finds the same result." And aimed at Cycnus once again. The ash shaft made no error, Cycnus no move to escape. It thudded on his left shoulder and bounced away as off a wall or rocky cliff. Yet where it struck, a streak of blood. Achilles' heart rejoiced, in vain. There was no wound, it was Menetis' blood. In fury then, for his high chariot leaping headlong, he drew his sword to close with his unfearing foe, and saw his steel gouge shield and helmet, but that flint-hard body even blunted the blade. Enough, no more. With shield and sword hilt, time and time again, he beat the face and forehead of his foe, pressed close as he retreated, harried him, rushed him, gave him no pause to get his wits. Fear seizes Cycnus, Darkness swims before his eyes, and as he staggers back, he's stopped by a boulder in mid-field. Achilles forced him backwards, swung him round with all his strength, and dashed him to the ground. Then with hard knees and shield clamped on his chest, he hauled upon the helmet strings, strained tight beneath his chin, choked his breath's passages, and throttled him. Conquered, he stooped to strip the spoils, and saw the armor empty. Neptune had transformed Cycnus to the white bird whose name he bore. These mighty toils, this battle brought a lull of many days. Both sides laid down their arms and took their rest, and while upon Troy's walls a constant guard was kept, and constant guard in the Greek lines, there came a festal day when Cycnus' conqueror, Achilles, gave Pallas her sacrifice with a heifer's blood. He placed the entrails on the glowing altar, and when the welcome aroma reached the gods in heaven, the rites took their due share. The rest was set upon the tables for the feast. The chiefs reclined on couches, took their fill of roasted meats, and lightened cares and thirst with flowing wine. No harp played for their pleasure, no songs, no boxwood flutes of many holes. The night grew long with talking, and their theme was valor. Tales were told of how they fought and how their foes they relished turn by turn, recounting dangers shared and overborne. What else indeed should be Achilles' theme? What else their theme with great Achilles there? Chiefly their talk was of his latest triumph, Cycnus subdued. It seemed a miracle that he possessed a body impervious to any weapon, proof against all wounds, blunting an iron blade. And while the Greeks and great Achilles too were marveling, old Nestor said, "In your lifetime one man alone could scorn the sword, no stroke could pierce, Cycnus. But I myself saw years ago Cyneus of Thessaly, with 1,000 wounds unharmed, Cyneus of Thessaly, who lived famed for his feats on Othrys. And what makes it more miraculous, he had been born a woman. Such a freak of nature made all present marvel, and they asked him for the story. And Achilles said, 'My lord, you are so full of years, so eloquent, the wisdom of our age, come, let us hear, we all have the same wish, who Cyneus was, and why his change of sex, in what campaign, what battle line you knew him, and by whom he was defeated, if he met defeat.' Then the old man, despite the impediments of my slow years, though much seen in my youth escapes me now, I still remember more. Among so many deeds of war and peace, none sticks more firmly in my memory. And if great length of years enables one to see a multitude of things, I've lived 2 centuries, and now am in my 3rd.